Um, okay, so what is the biggest change that you've seen in your lifetime in the SK world?
Biggest change in specialized kinesiology, or excuse me, energy kinesiology. Long time to get scratchy throat. Can we pause? I'm going to get a glass of water. I saw you drinking. I'm jealous. Okay, that gave me a chance to think about my answer too.
Yes.
So, in the early days of energy kinesiology or specialized kinesiology, or what people were kind of just generically calling applied kinesiology initially because it was coming from George Goodhart, and then later we started to say, well, applied kinesiology, let's keep that reserved for just George Goodhart's work. That's for people who are licensed to diagnose. And then we've come up with various terms to describe the rest of the field that's grown since that time. And initially, the whole specialized kinesiology field was just Touch for Health.
Yeah.
And so you would take perhaps just a weekend class and start seeing clients. And for some people, that makes their hair stand on end and is terrifying. And for other people, that seems completely natural and safe. But it includes some of the original applied kinesiology physicians who were very worried about people going out and using AK techniques because they were afraid they were going to be diagnosing without license, or they were going to just do a bad job and give kinesiology a bad name. But by and large, that's not what has happened over the years, actually. But partly because of that concern, in Touch for Health especially, we've really emphasized that distinction between what's diagnosis and treatment in that model. And if you're trained in that model, sure, you can combine kinesiology, and they're a great combination. But if you're not trained in that model, let's develop a different model to say stay safe legally, and also be true, be real about what you're doing, you know. But what we found is there was another purpose that we discovered, or another benefit that we discovered that's actually far more important than the other two, which is when you get more into a holistic self-responsibility model, you actually empower the individual and get their energy flowing. And I believe the outcomes are much better than if you do diagnosis and treatment alone, especially if you're talking about long-term developing wellness and health. So that is something that sort of developed bit by bit over the years. It wasn't 100% the main purpose of Touch for Health, but for me it's become much more a main purpose of Touch for Health, emphasizing that self-responsibility model, whether you're using kinesiology or just diet and exercise or whatever, that's kind of a most powerful central thing. So that's something that's developed over the years. Also, initially, you know, Touch for Health, it wasn't really intended to create practitioners. It was intended for the lay person. And so we did originally spread it out a lot. And like I said, in the 70s, a lot of people were like, yeah, let's take the book to our commune and learn to use this for ourselves, and we'll balance ourselves, and only if necessary, we'll go seek the expert and professional. But we'll do all the things to maintain our health and take care of ourselves. But over the years, as the training, even in just Touch for Health, has expanded, there's been a little bit more of an emphasis and a little bit more of a ready market in people who are already some kind of practitioner, or people who are planning on becoming a practitioner, a specialized energy kinesiologist, or just a professional kinesiology practitioner. And so nowadays there are 3-year training, maybe even 4-year trainings. In Australia, it's recognized by the government, has been for, I think, 15 years now. In Switzerland, for many years, insurance companies have been giving payments for kinesiology sessions. So the development of this profession is one of the biggest changes. And it also means, to a large extent, the focus of kinesiology, the focus of the training, has shifted, I'd say probably 80% or more, towards creating practitioners or skills for existing practitioners. And it seems like more and more de-emphasizing the idea, well, a lot of these techniques are something we can give to the public for their own self-care. And so at least Touch for Health, a main purpose remains let's share these basic tools with as many people as possible, even though it may be an easier business to market to people who want to become practitioners, and sell many courses to the same person rather than one short course to many, many, many people. Everybody knows in marketing that's a little bit more difficult task. But it still is, I believe, a core task, not only of Touch for Health, but of kinesiology in general. So again, that's a big reason why I spend more of my energy emphasizing the basics and encouraging everyone not only to be a practitioner, but to also teach these techniques to the public. And that's mainly, or its first purpose, is to share things with the public that they can do to improve their health and improve their lives. But a second part of that is that it's actually very good marketing. If you're teaching people and you're doing public speaking and you're having private sessions, all of those activities build on each other. So you're doing cross-promotion for yourself all along. So it's a good marketing strategy, I think, also. And I think you do the greatest public benefit.
It's a great business. I mean, it really is. Especially anything that forces you to walk the talk a little bit has got to be good for you too, right? I mean, people need to look at us and see that we are doing these things for ourselves. And as a practitioner and as an instructor, it's important to me that people see that. So it forces you to take better care of yourself than you might otherwise.
Hopefully, yeah.
Right? Because you have to demonstrate that, yeah, like I do this every day. But and what you were saying about the self-care, I mean, a lot of the techniques in Touch for Health, yeah, you can use a lot of them for yourself, but a lot of the muscle testing and things, you really do need another person in order to make it work properly. I know that you can activate muscles and all of that sort of thing, but it's not really the same. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. Although, yeah, I agree with that. And although I do try to teach all of my students both ways, that almost everything we do in Touch for Health, there's some way that you can do it as a self-care, just all by yourself alone. But that's actually not the idea and point of Touch for Health. They're good techniques you could use by yourself. Why not? But part of the idea of the touch in Touch for Health is that you're with a second person and you're touching each other. And just the touch of another person, they've studied it different ways scientifically. We talk about oxytocin starts to flow after 7 seconds of physical touch. We are social animals, and so we need contact with other human beings. So if Touch for Health forces you to get with another human being to do some touching, then that's a very valuable purpose in and of itself, regardless of all the other gymnastics that we do. And so many people have said to me, well, you say it's a self-care technique, but you can't do it all by yourself. I say, well, you can do things by yourself, but it's still a self-care technique that involves getting together with a partner. And it's very easy, even if the other person knows nothing about muscle testing, it's actually very easy to instruct them how to do the muscle testing on you so you can get a balance. And most of the time, once they've done a balance for you, then they say, okay, yeah, well, my turn, give me a balance.
Yeah.
So then you get a chance to practice some more and build your friendship and have healthy touching and enjoy your life.
Excellent. Okay. Last question then. So if you could offer people one reason, now we've actually kind of covered this a little bit, but just to put a fine point on it, I suppose, if you could offer people one reason why they should take specialized kinesiology classes, not even Touch for Health specifically, but just anything in this kind of field, what would it be?
There's a lot of reasons. The first reason, I think, in general, is to become empowered in your own healthcare and to realize where you do have power, where you can make healthy choices that are going to have a big impact today in how you're feeling, but in long term, in your longevity and your wellness over time. So the tools help you to get into a more balanced state, so you start feeling good and your healing system, your immune system starts to function better automatically. But even more powerful than that is you come into a centered space where you can see things in a more clear, calm way and make decisions about what you choose to do in life to take care of yourself, rather than kind of going through the day just reacting and going through actions that are made perhaps in just a unconscious or survival pattern, and or you consciously know what it is you want to do, but you end up choosing to do something else because there's this conflict between some kind of internal need and your conscious mind, what your mind thinks is best for you. So when you can do something to get more in balance and more centered and bring that harmony between the internal and the external, or the unconscious or body level awareness and your conscious mind, it makes you much more powerful to make the healthy decisions for yourself. So that's probably the number one reason to do it.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to chat with me about this. The magazine is going to be out online for January 15th, and I'll probably put this out either like the same day or within a couple days on YouTube as well. I don't want to put it out earlier. People will cheat and watch this and not read the other stuff. So we're going to do it the other way.
Sure.
And in the event that I don't see you before the Touch for Health conference in Kansas City in July, then all the best to you and Claudia, and take care in the next little while.
Thank you. Thank you for calling, and I look forward to the link, and I'll send it along to everybody.
Sounds good. Thanks.